Hi, Joel FitzPatrick with another episode of In the Cheap Seats. With me again is Hometown News' Jed Blackwell. Jed, football season more or less was winding down, and I finally got a chance to watch a little bit of college basketball the other night, and really couldn't have asked for a better start. I watched Michigan State. Game comes down to the wire, and then I watched South Carolina, Kentucky. Just a phenomenal game. What did you think about the game watching it?
You picked a couple of good ones for your first basketball action. The Carolina game it's a benchmark win. It's something Darren Horn's been looking for something to hang his hat on. There it is. You just got the feeling when they wouldn't go away, when Kentucky would make their run and Carolina would answer. And when they didn't go away, you kind of got the feeling something special could be happening. And I'm telling you, Devin Downey is incredible.
He is. Going into that game, so much talk was about John Wall. And, watching the game, I've known about Devin Downey for a couple of years, but do you think he's a player that gets as much credit as he should?
I don't think so. I think that might be because he's 5'9". I know he appears to be unpressable. Kentucky's got two of their best players guarding him, and they can't make him pick up his dribble. He's not afraid to take any shot. That might be a detriment at sometimes, but it wasn't the other night. And another thing, I don't know if you heard his interview before the game, but he's confident. Someone asked him about the opportunity to play against John Wall. He said, "So what? I've played against great players before. Played against players who are in the NBA." And they asked him, was he not impressed? He said, "Well, yeah, I'm impressed. He's a good player, but every time I go on the court, I have to feel like I'm the best player out there." And the other night he was.
Do you think he's a player that is he lottery worthy, or is he an NBA player, do you think?
I think the only thing that detracts from him being lottery worthy is his size. I'd take a chance on him. If I had an 8, 9, 10 pick, I'd take a chance on him. I don't think anybody will. I see him maybe an early second rounder, late first rounder, but I think he's got a career in front of him in the NBA because defense is a little bit more lax in the NBA than it is now, and Devin Downey can get his shot off. It doesn't matter against who or where. He can get his shot off. And, what's overlooked is 6 or 8 assists a game. Mm-hmm. So I really think he's got great potential to play in the NBA for a while.
Yeah, definitely do. I couldn't help but laugh after the game. 18,000 fans are storming the court, and I watched 2 men with their hands up trying to stop all of them. Got a good laugh out of it. But the next day I find out that the school's fined $25,000. So do you think it's right? I mean, part of what makes the college experience great is moments like that and celebrating them.
See, those 2 guys that were trying to stop people are the 2 guys that keep me from taking pictures after the state basketball finals every year. So I don't care for them to begin with. I think there's a place. I think there's a time and a place for it, and that was certainly the time and the place. Clemson over North Carolina a couple of weeks ago. You're 18, they're 14. Maybe you're supposed to be. If you're considering yourself arrived, even though they're North Carolina, even though they're the defending national champions, they're a shell of what they were last year. Maybe you don't need to rush the court in that situation. But you beat the number 1 team in the country and you've never done it before, yeah, have at it. Have fun. I didn't agree with the policy when the SEC passed it, and I certainly don't agree with it now.
Definitely. I know you're a Clemson fan, and yearly, their basketball team, if you ended the season after 14, 16 games, they might be a number 1 seed every season. After that, second half of the season, just something always happens. What do you think is going on, especially this year?
I don't know if it's confidence. I don't know if it's overconfidence. I'm not sure what it is, because last year, after that tremendous thrashing they gave Duke, they pretty much walked around with their hand in the air the rest of the year saying, "Hey, remember us? We beat Duke. Hey, lay down. We're supposed to beat you. We beat Duke by 30. Come on." And nobody would lay down. This year it's looking like, "Hey, we beat Carolina. Are we done here? What's going on?" I don't know. They didn't deserve to win the NC State game, and then they've had 2 tough losses and a blowout to Duke in a row. I don't know what they've got to do to get it fixed, but you can't limp through life 8-8 in the ACC and expect to make any noise anywhere.
The Duke game, it could have been a real statement game from Clemson. You had College Game Day there. Instead, it was almost a statement game from Duke saying, "We're still here."
Right.
How much did that take out of Clemson, do you think?
I think a lot. I think if they play with you, they lose by 10, foul them late and give up some things. I think they rebounded and beat Boston College. Honestly, I think probably they should have taken their medicine against Duke, rested Stitt, and gotten him a little bit better because he struggled against Duke, and then the other night, not playing at Boston College, you saw where it got him. He makes that press go. He and Trevor Booker are the keys.
Definitely. You know, since the time I've been following sports, since I was a little kid, I think when it comes to All-Star games, number one for me has always been the NBA All-Star Weekend, slam dunk, three-point, and probably baseball. Don't know how I feel about what they've done with it determining who has home field advantage in the World Series, but it's still fun to watch the baseball All-Star game. Bottom of the list has always been the Pro Bowl.
Right.
And this year they've tried something different. They put it a week ahead of the Super Bowl, the same spot, and I think it's really a bad idea. You're getting the guys that are still playing, the teams involved in the Super Bowl, you're going to go ahead and eliminate them. They're not going to play. You have all these injuries. I looked at the AFC roster the other day. Matt Schaub is the starting quarterback in a league with Brady and Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger. You're going with Matt Schaub.
Right.
Do you think there's still a need for a Pro Bowl? I mean, is it a game still worth watching?
Well, I honestly don't think so. I haven't watched it in a while. I watched the Battle of the Stars when they do the different agility drills or when they play flag football in the sand. I like watching that. I don't like it where it is. I don't like it when it is. I think Sidney Rice would have gone to Hawaii next week.
Definitely.
Or 2 weeks from now. I sincerely do. I don't know. Maybe a rookie game. Maybe a young guns game. Maybe something like that. Maybe the top first through third year guys that didn't make the playoffs. Maybe an all-star team that didn't make the playoffs. Something of that nature, but it's got to be fixed.
I think so, definitely. And you look to baseball, basketball, those all-star games, generally, you're not going to come away possibly being injured.
Right.
With football, contact sports, completely different. So something I think they really need to look at.
I do too, especially when you've got teams that have just endured 19 weeks if you made the playoffs. I think something's got to be done. Maybe they can go back like the hockey all-star game and break plates with slap shots or something.
There you go. Well, that's it for this week. Join us again next week for In the Cheap Seats.